Hey everybody, it is Chad Warren. It is 9:16 a.m. Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. The Lord surely works in mysterious ways. Let me share with you what I'm talking about. So, as you see behind me, this is a purchase for $96.51, and I bought this battery. Okay, actually it's a 35, not this one, but it was $96.51, right? And then this guy, David Davis, okay, right, I've sent you $100. That is a gift. Wow, praise God and thank you, David. I will look at the brochure you shared and find out when the next worship service is. If I can help you in any way with work or whatever, don't hesitate to ask. Thank you. I will talk to you later. My brain is slow this morning, but it's my pleasure to be of some help. Let's read the Bible verse. Praised be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of tender mercies and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our trials, so that we may be able to comfort others in any sort of trial with the comfort that we receive from God. Don't know what verse that is, but that's all right. All right, so then let's see. Let's look at some stuff here. Here's the battery I just bought. Here's the brochure that David shared. Okay, so how did I meet David? I met David up at Family Park, which is close to here. This is the Walmart and Hot Springs on Albert Pike by the junction of Highway 70 and 270. My stomping grounds is a Lake Hamilton Wolf. And this says, Enjoy Life Forever is a free interactive Bible course offered by Jehovah's Witnesses. Learn more at www.jw.org. I'm going to blank out David's phone number, but that's his card he gave me, and that's the QR code. And I went there, as I often do, in the morning to use my little portable stove to make coffee and to exercise and to clean out my car. I was cleaning out, rearranging my car, and he came over and he goes, "Are you a traveler?" And I said, "I don't like where this conversation's going. Could you get to the point, please?" And then, so, you know, he shared that he was representing Jehovah's Witnesses. And may I say, my impression, like I go downtown and I see the Jehovah's Witness standing there. So on the first thing, they're excellent about being out there and being known, right? But I'm sure there's a lot of people like me, they're like, I already know about all that stuff. I don't have any need to talk to them or whatever. Because my point of view is that everybody has equal access to Father Creator and Mother Nature. And I don't like to see on a big, multi-million-dollar LED billboard out in front of the church, Jesus is the one and only God, or whatever, you know what I mean? Because that seems to end up in war between the Christians, Jews, and Arabs, and all this war in Israel. But I do believe in positive thinking and that we are all sparks of divinity. And just paying attention to your life is just as important as the Bible. And when we say the Bible, that's the same way we say the internet now, right? the internet, it's dumb to say things on the internet are no good, because the internet is a physical storage system for all of human knowledge. And I think it's belief itself that powers stuff. But I will say that the main reason I'm doing this video is to share with you that a synchronicity did occur, because this was like a week ago maybe that I met David. And then when did he text me? Oh, right in this time of need. He didn't have any of my contact info on social media, so I don't think it was that he saw my post on Facebook asking for help to pay for this battery, because I'm homeless and I DoorDash, and I also camp out in the national forest, so that would be terrible to be stuck out there. Luckily I had my portable battery starter. But not only did David call me right in that moment of need, but it occurred right when I drove past this church, and I can't remember the name right now, but it's some kind of fellowship, faith fellowship or something, in Hot Springs Village, or right by there, by the entrance with the McDonald's, Highway 7. And that was where I went when I was concerned about the possibility of food riots with the SNAP benefits. And I thought, what can I do about this as a more conservative type? I don't believe in welfare for poor people or rich people. You know, Amazon gets corporate welfare. They don't have to pay taxes. And I inherited money, and I wouldn't recommend that to anybody unless it comes along with a whole, like, look, these are the things you need to learn so that you don't become addicted to needing this money. And then the issue is not that I don't want to work like I'm a lazy bum. It's that it's hard for me to accept, oh, the best thing, really, I need to be working here at Arby's or McDonald's. That's the best thing I can do with my life, right? So, because I'm complimented as a hard worker, and the problem with that is I just don't have the patience to stay there at one of these jobs long enough. And like the last one I tried was at the, not the Perk, what's it called? Cafe, can't even remember. Cafe Pesto, something like that, over on Central by the mall. And it was like it was the first cook job I ever did. I've worked in restaurants a lot, but it just was stressing me out to have to be there that early in the morning, because I have to drive like an hour plus in, you know, from Hickory Nut Mountain. So I had to be there. It was like I had to get up like, or before 4 in the morning. I can't even remember. But then I'd get there, and my memory is not the best, probably from smoking weed since I was 18. And I can't handle that in a job if it's something that I can't control, like remembering the recipes. So, you know, I needed all those recipes available to confer to until I remember it, and it's just too stressful for me. So it's I've gone like 2 weeks without smoking weed. I don't drink too much alcohol, but I need to drink less. You know, I usually have like 2 or 3 12-ounce beers, not every night. But the point is that I recognize that synchronicity, which I just mentioned to you, that it happened when I went past that church, and he called right in that time of need. So my perspective is that, you know, I want to be a diplomat between all these groups, because it doesn't work for me to join any of them. And that fits with my astrology as Pisces. I comprise my identity by synthesizing all the different ones that I come across. And that was my early experience with Christianity, being sent to various Catholic, Christian, and speaking in tongues type of private schools, and having to figure out what I saw as true. me being the arbiter, you know. And anyway, I do plan to go to a worship service with them, and that's what I asked David. I go, it's just not going to work for me to join any group, but if you'll accept me as I am, I'd be more than happy to go to your service, because as a Gnostic type of person, which is about appreciating when you see the Lord working in your life, directly through your life experience. The more orthodox spiritual people that have churches, right, they have this stability in this community stewardship service thing about feeding the poor and doing all this stuff that people like me that are very independent are not organized enough to do, and I'm always trying to figure out how to get these cooperative networks to happen. And so that's what I intend to do, is to help us. We're going to have to create the consensus reality, because it doesn't exist anymore like it did when I was a kid. But even though things were better that way, you know, being a little kid in 3rd grade at St. John's on a Monday and having arguments on the playground and discussions about movies and TV. Oh, you haven't seen Rambo? What are you, retarded? Oh, what happened on the A-Team? What happened on Saturday Night Live? It was so much more fun when, whether you liked it or hated it, we all at least knew what each other was talking about. Whereas now, they have us so decentralized. It's a weaponized version of Gnosticism, just like I think that Rome took over Christianity and uses it as a political weapon. So I just want to encourage all of these people, whatever banner that you go under, Christian, Satanist, agnostic, atheist, or whatever, there's so much science and so much direct experience to show us that we've all been confused. You know, it was wrong for academia to, the Vatican run academia to separate science and faith, and now they're showing us that it's all connected, that what you feel and think and imagine and have the willpower, that's the connection on the spiritual level to God, that you have to have that foundation first and then build in the physical world. And then that's what they don't tell these Satanists when you have Aleister Crowley, do it thou willst. Well, you have to have a whole bunch of discipline if you're going to be in charge of yourself, right? You know, it's easy to say, no, I don't think that the Pope is really the stand-in for Jesus when he's away, right? But, and this goes with politics and all this criticism, that's the message that I want for the next generation, is you're totally right to be critical of the established system. But it's like all these people trying out socialism. If you don't have any example that your system is successful, and there's a lot more that it's not, then it doesn't even matter if you're correct in your criticism. You have to create a true alternative. Speaking of, this alternative media we have is not true alternative media, it's Trump alternative media. So that's good that we are separating, because MAGA existed before Trump. It existed with the Ron Paul liberty movement, and it goes. I was listening today on Real American News, I think it is, and this guy was just briefly going over history of America and how we slid into this time where socialism is rearing its head like it did in Nazi Germany. And the reason for that started with things like when the Continental Army, you know, it became a professional standing army versus militias and stuff like that, where people had to show up or it didn't exist. So that's what we need to do again. So when I say militia, it's not about shooting people with guns. It's about developing skills and cross-training with other people that you directly know to create these cells, these round table groups of like 12 people or whatever, and you're all taking care of each other and voluntarily sharing what your needs are, what your wants are, what your things that you have to share with people. So I think that I do a really good job about being able to break down complex ideas intellectually and philosophy and spirituality into practical ways, and to combine that with affiliate marketing. And so I'm going to show you, just like I was cheerleading for David as an individual, a member of the Jehovah's Witnesses, now I would like to show you the affiliate offer that I use, and that I was probably going to be able to use if I couldn't get money from anybody today, is to go to the pawn shop and bring them my pieces of silver that I have gotten from them. And I'll show you that right now. I can't remember if I left one piece in here. Let me see. All right, let me open my bag. Okay, so, and this is good too, I've already done a video about this, but it's an important reminder, is that we need to have online options and local network options. So I bought this, right? It is the Trump train. I just thought it was funny, to be obvious. I'm not on the Trump train at all. I don't support people that go to the Wailing Wall. See, this is where you Christians need to be careful calling people Satanists, because Zionists are Satanists. And when Trump goes to that Wailing Wall and he's doing that bobbing of the head and all that, that is simulating having sex with the Holy Spirit. Okay? So, but, oh, and I'll show you a couple other pieces that I have too. Now, these, you can get started today in Quicksilver, right? For just $19.75, you can get this 1/10 of an ounce silver round. Look at that. Right? It's hard to see. Okay? And the way you do that is you go to Quick Silv Systems, QUICSYSTEM.com/984795. You get a free 1 gram silver bar, a Valcambi silver bar, just by taking a tour of our website. You can live the wealthy life, and we'll show you how. And all you got to do is go there and check it out. You don't have to watch any videos. It's just looking at a page. Just put your name, your email, and your phone number. Now, why do we ask for your phone number? It's because we need to call and make sure that we're talking to a real person and confirm their address, because we're not going to be sending 1 gram silver bars to robots or whatever. You understand? But that's it. You're not going to be bothered about nothing. You can you can also just buy precious metals at retail or wholesale, right? But it's only like $7.77 to have the ability to resell this as an affiliate offer to people. So it's $19.75 for the whole thing. I'm telling you, you're going to be lucky. This is not investment advice, right? But you're going to be lucky to find what I paid. I paid $50 for that Trump train thing. and I bought it because just a week before, silver reached an all-time high that it hasn't hit since 1980. Okay, they're getting rid of pennies, they're getting rid of the dollar, and I don't like that. We need to have human rights to have access to offline ways to live versus being forced into a technocratic, satanic, socialist digital gulag, right? So if you can show me that cryptocurrency is actually free and private and not going to lead to a digital gulag, I believe you. But I don't, because people get it stolen and they lose their access to it. Just like today, watching InfoWars, they're like, oh no, Twitter's down, these websites are down. It's all going to go down. Now, but you need to use tech online, but you need to live offline and have access to all that well, especially if you have a network marketing business. And that's why I would direct you to my business mentor, Russ Fye, at joinruss.com, because all he does, he has struggled for 10 years in affiliate marketing, and he's been successful for 10 years. And he has a community called Mailbox Money Nation. You can get a free newsletter and guide. But when you go to Mailbox Money Nation, you're gonna find out about ABM, and what that is direct marketing through the mail, right? And the program I got started with is $50 a month, and you get 50 address labels, right? And anybody that knows marketing knows that you need traffic, and people end up paying for leads. You know, when you see an ad and it says want to work from home and you put your name and email there, that's what we're talking about. But you have to target your market, right? So that's why it's highly problematic to buy leads. You know, I've done that before. I've paid $100 a month, and I've personally contacted people, calling them, texting them, you know, having follow-up calls and all this stuff, and do that for months and get nothing. And that's just the world of a business. If you opened a hot dog cart, right, that you're going to run through the same thing, and that's why most businesses fail. So it's not just network marketing. You know, only 10% of less of people are even in business after a year. So that's just the thing with business, which is like farming, you see. They have to do all this work and grow all this food and have no idea of how much money they're going to get for that. That's faith. And whether you're homeless or whether you are a super capitalist or a farmer or whatever, those people understand faith in a very real way. Okay, so that is my gift to you, if for no other reason, for you to start respecting when Father Creator and Mother Nature are speaking to you. Don't ignore it. Okay? Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I certainly am thankful for this opportunity to share my adventure story today with you. And I will leave links in the description for that offer, and I will just point you to my home on the internet, which is linktree chad.warren, and I have all kinds of stuff that I'm involved with. In terms of free traffic, I use viral traffic games, and that is a bonus game that's like The Legend of Zelda, that connects with like 147 different traffic exchanges, where I show you a web page, and then I look at your web page and get credits and all that kind of jazz. You can see an appearance of me on The Mental Breakthrough with Dr. Christopher, talking about networking through Gnosticism, like I'm talking about right now. You can see what books I'm reading at Goodreads. I'm currently reading Born by Dee Wallace. She played the mom in E.T. But really, she's more well known about being an advocate for positive thinking, because we have all this science to back all that up now. That like if you're anxious all the time, your environment and your attitude literally has way more of an effect on the expression of your genetics, your health, right, than just your genetics alone. And see how that's based on mind or matter. It starts with the mind and then goes into matter. It starts with God, and He created all this physical world, right? And then Mother Nature is the story of Sophia breaking the rules and falling in love with us. But then through that is this whole idea of good comes out of bad, right? Because in the story of Job, we see that a lot of good came out of this bad. God wasn't just evilly torturing Job. He was proven to the devil that he's not going to win, because people are going to have faith in God despite all this terrible stuff happening to him, whereas people are only going to have faith in the devil if he's, giving them crack cocaine and hookers. So but I also love to share places that I enjoy on Google Maps as a local guide. You can check that out. And then you can also check out my favorite songs on Spotify. And that's a lesson to anybody about, if you're on social media but you're not making money off of it, and you're not selling a product or service or acting as a community advocate, then what the fuck are you doing on there? You're getting used like a piece of cattle for your data. Somebody else is making money off of you, okay? If you have a playlist on Spotify and 1,000 people for free just download that playlist, your liked songs or whatever, that you can monetize that, okay? So we need both money and material things, and it needs to all start with spiritual foundations, like giving thanks to God. And I give thanks to you. Have a good day.